This is The Business Hub, the region's only commercial radio business show, powered by Insight Associates.
So first up on the show this morning, it's Amanda MacNutt of Amanda's Bags. Good morning to you, Amanda.
Good morning.
Thanks very much for spending the time to come in and talk to us on the Business Hub. And thank you very much also for bringing in the biggest array of handbags we've certainly ever had in this studio, Ian? Ian is currently fingering through them at the moment, just working out which one goes best with his tie. But very, very nice. So, Amanda, welcome to the show. Let's get a little bit of the Amanda. Let's get a feel for who you are and where you've come from and what you've done and everything. So what is the Amanda MacNutt story?
Goodness me, well, I don't think you want the whole story. But the more recent story is that, like a lot of women, when my youngest son went to school, I thought, right, now's the time to look for a job, part-time job. And I found it incredibly hard, whereas years before I had no trouble getting a job. When I went for interviews, I seemed to get jobs because there were so many of them around at the time. So first of all, I just couldn't find anything, and then I ended up doing temporary jobs, and then I started a contract which I hoped would become permanent, and then unfortunately it didn't. And then after that I thought I was sort of at the end of my tether almost, and then I remembered how the summer previously I'd been in Bath looking for a leather handbag for the very first time in my life, and I'd found this very difficult. I'd obviously looked around Cambridge already and hadn't found anything that I liked, anything that was affordable, or that was really exciting enough. And when I was in Bath with my husband, we came across this little scruffy shop selling the most beautiful array of Italian leather handbags in all colours, and it was just like walking into a sweet shop. And I asked the young guys, where did you get them from? How did you start this? And he said, well, I found a supplier in Florence and brought them over. And I said to my husband at the time, well, maybe there's a job there for me, sort of half jokingly. But I realised that he had something that somehow shops in this country seem to have missed. They had the colours, the styles, and above all the affordable price. And so I did in the end buy a bag from him for just over £50 bag, a very nice size. Yeah. It has an extra long strap and lots of pockets inside, which I know ladies like. Yeah. And I was absolutely delighted. So at that time, when, it's a bleak time of the year, about February, it sort of came back to me, this idea, and I thought, why don't I just go to Florence? Why not? And it was near my birthday, and my husband said, well, why not? If it all goes wrong, then, it'd be a nice birthday present for you. So my intention was just to go out and go to the leather market and come back with, say, about 10 bags. That's all I had money for, really. And I thought, well, if none of them sell when I get back, then never mind, because I'll be set for life. But so I had a lovely time there, and did easily achieve what I wanted to, and came back and sent the pictures to lots of my friends, and most of them sold that way. And I had a bag party as well, and the rest went that way too. So they went very quickly. So I thought, there's something in this. The women were enthusiastic. They couldn't believe the prices, the quality. So then it was a case of just finding a supplier, which I did. Okay. And so I just moved slowly on from there.
I mean, it's a brilliant story, because out of two things have happened. First of all, you've got the difficulty in finding a job that would suit you, and secondly, this frustration around the handbags. And it was always the best kind of businesses, though, are born out of those kinds of frustrations. We always feel we've heard these kind of stories quite a lot on the Business Hub, and I always find it really exciting, because you've obviously found a niche market that is quite a wide niche market, I would guess.
Yeah.
So you've got the first load over and you've sold all of those. It's now, I guess, at this point in the story, it's a case of scaling the operation up then, I suppose, and that's when you went in search of a supplier. So
just very gradually.
How did that work?
I wanted to keep everything sort of low risk. I didn't have, thousands of pounds to invest in this. I wanted to start it off slowly so that if it all went wrong at any point, I wouldn't be bankrupt or, owe a bank thousands of pounds. Yeah. So yes, I just gradually increased the stock, and then so that when I went to other bag parties, because that's how I started off doing it, I had more of an array of colours and styles to tempt people with. Yeah. And people do get very excited, as women do. And then from there I thought, well, I really need to show more of these bags more regularly. So for a while I had a stall at Cambridge Market once a week, and now I've moved over to Ely, because I like that you can sort of go in at the drop of a hat.
And what are the sales like with the market? I mean, do you sell quite a few through Ely Market? Is it a good, good marketplace?
Do well. Yes, it's good. Ely's great, actually. The people there seem to be very friendly. They seem to be very happy to be there.
Yeah.
And I get the sense that, committed to Ely itself and to perhaps local businesses, and they like coming back to people they know and trust.
Yeah.
And Cambridge is a different kettle of fish. There's a lot of people who work there but don't live there, and a lot of tourists, of course. So you don't, there's not the same kind of level of commitment from your customers.
Okay, so at this point then, you're now regularly at the market and you're regularly selling the bags. At some point a website has come on board.
Yes, well, quite soon on actually we sort of cobbled together a website, which isn't the current one, and just so that people could see the pictures. So I was sort of snapping away and uploading them onto Picasso website, and which was fine, but people couldn't buy online, but they could see what there was. And more recently we employed a freelancer to design a more sophisticated website where people can buy online, which is what everybody wants, of course, rather than sending me lots of emails and checks through the post. So and that's going really well. It's had a massive amount of interest from all over the world, actually. It's quite extraordinary.
So why do you think that is? Because I mean, I don't know anything about handbags. I mean, Ian is the Business Hub handbag specialist. Read into that whatever you want. But, this must be a crowded, highly competitive marketplace. It just must be. So how have you managed to build a website from scratch, pretty much? And the website is amandashandbags.com, is that right?
Amanda's Bags.
amandasbags.com.
Yeah.
All right, so, on the outset, could be many different things. It could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be handbags, it could be lots of different things. So how do you think you've cut through the noise to get traffic to your website?
Well, for starters, we have little things like, when people put in Amanda's Bags or Italian bags, I come up quite high up on the Google list, and that always helps, of course.
And is that something that you've done, or is that something you've paid?
No, actually a friend did that
for
us. Apparently it's not that hard to do.
Okay.
It sounds hard, but yeah.
Right, put him in touch with us then, will you?
Yeah. No.
I'm having a fair old challenge with it, but never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you do well in searches.
Yes, and I've had people who visited Cambridge, I suppose, and have gone back with my business card, gone back to Brazil, gone back to wherever, Canada, and have carried on looking at the website from there. Yeah. Plus, I've known people who are foreigners who've visited here, have then gone back. So I think there's a bit of that. Otherwise, I think it is women just looking for Italian handbags as opposed to bags that are made in China, because there's so many of those. And they've come up with my website. Yeah.
That's great. Absolutely brilliant. So are there any sort of bits of learning that have happened along the way, Amanda, that you think, blimey, if I could have actually wound back a bit, I probably wouldn't have done that, or I should have done more of that? Any kind of pearls of wisdom that you could drop into the mix here that might help people if they're thinking of setting up a business all of their own? Not bags.
Every business is so unique, isn't it? I think for me, the main thing was to start off cautiously and not to invest too much too soon. And now I just reinvest in what I have, what I've made, back into the business. Because especially, in the times now, you don't want that kind of financial burden or worry, or stress. So I would say start slowly. I don't know regrets probably that I don't have a famous friend who could, sort of, a celebrity who could, put the bag on her shoulder.
Well, you do now.
Yeah.
And he's sitting right there.
Yeah,
there you go in.
I'll wear your handbags.
Yeah.
But in a sense, the celebrities are wearing those very bags, the very styles that I sell.
Well, it's a crazy world now, isn't it, really? I mean, we had Angelica London on the show, it must have been over a year ago actually now, and Angelica is a local fashion designer. She's based in Newmarket, and she was selling her unique t-shirts through boutiques in Ibiza and various different places, and the one and only Katie Price, aka Jordan, bought some of her tops and was pictured out wearing them.
Yeah.
And that was the viral trigger for taking Angelica's products interstellar with sales. I mean, just really interstellar. And so it's a weird kind of balance, isn't it? Because, you think about certain people you might not want to have be pictured with your bags. But on the other hand, when you've got that kind of viral opportunity attached to it, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like you say, we're not all friends with celebrities, and we can't all afford to have them.
Well, I think the ironic thing is, of course, celebrities, they want to be able to spend thousands of pounds on their bags. And that's why I went into this, because I don't want women to have to spend hundreds of pounds on their bags.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying at the beginning, it's often the anger that's started a business. Yeah, to come back to that that was my motivation, because I really hate seeing women going out and having to spend hundreds of pounds on a bag just to feel good. I'd love women to have more confidence to buy a bag that suits them, that's good quality, that's affordable.
Yeah, and quite clearly with the success of your business, you're not the only person that's been thinking that, so yeah.
And you were featured in Woman magazine as well, weren't you? How did that all come
Yes,
about?
well, not myself personally, but my husband, who is a bit of a PR expert, he contacted Woman magazine and said, look, here's my wife's story, here's her website, would you like us to send some bags for you to look at, perhaps put in a shoot? And they surprisingly came back and said, yes, please send us some colourful bags that you have. And apparently, as I say, it was no mean feat, because they do get hundreds of companies sending samples through. So the fact they chose one of my bags was quite amazing. And they teamed it up with an outfit they were showing at the time. It was a lime green suede handbag.
Okay, so I'm interested as well. I mean, Woman magazine, I would imagine, has a pretty decent circulation.
Yeah.
It's kind of a heritage
thousands
brand,
of readers.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Did that feature have any impact on your sales?
Yes, a few ladies came through with orders, and many more have been, quite a lot more people have been looking at the website. Yes, and also from the Ely Standard, actually, as well.
Yeah, you managed to get a front page.
In fact, I had orders instantly after that went out the same day.
Yeah. So how did you manage to get yourself on the front page of the Ely Standard?
I don't know. I mean, I have been in Ely Standard a couple of times before, so maybe they thought they wanted to carry on the story of Amanda.
Yeah.
I think they just, it's springtime, they wanted something colourful and bright and pretty to put on the cover, and an interesting story from somebody who's part of Ely.
Yeah. And now, of course, you're on the Business Hub.
Yes, I know.
So the PR
I know, PR, I'm going to tell him to slow down. Calm down.
Oh, no, good stuff. But it is a great story at the end of the day, and I mean, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that's probably why you've ended up in all of these different avenues, which in itself is quite a good bit of learning, I think, for business.
I hope it inspires people just to, if they have a good idea, if they feel that it could be sound, if there is a niche for that. I know some people go out and think, I like this for myself, and I'm sure everybody else is going to like it, and it flops. You have to be aware that that's something that people do want, they do need. You can see that it is missing in the marketplace, which is what I did.
Yeah. So, Amanda, how long until you retire into handbag heaven?
Oh, well, maybe 10 years. Be all right.
and is this has longevity for you, or are you wanting to...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as long as they sell.
Yeah.
Keep selling, then keep it going.
Great stuff.
Hand it on to my sons.
Yeah. They'll be looking forward to that particular inheritance, I'm sure. No, it's awesome. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks very much for spending the time to come in as well, Amanda. It's good to meet you and to see your bags. That sounds a bit odd, but you know what I mean.
I know you enjoyed them.
And the website, if people want to go and have a bit of a butcher's,
is www.amandasbags.com.
Thanks again for your time.
Thank you very much.